91 minutes. That's all it took. A late goal from a substitute, and the World Cup dream of the most famous goalscorer in football history was over. Not with a whimper, with a gut punch in the final seconds. This was supposed to be different. At 41 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the 2 or 3 most famous soccer players alive, walked into his 6th and final World Cup. He was chasing the one trophy he's never won. The World Cup is the biggest prize in the sport, one tournament every 4 years that decides which country is the best in the world. Ronaldo has won almost everything else there is to win. This was the one gap left. He left this tournament with his head held high. He left without the trophy. This is the story of how his last World Cup unfolded: the highs, the records, the arguments, and the ending nobody wanted for him. Every World Cup starts with a group stage. 4 teams play each other, and the top 2 move on to the next round. Portugal was grouped with DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. On paper, it looked manageable. It didn't start well. The first match against DR Congo ended in a flat 1-1 tie. Right away, people started asking an uncomfortable question. Was this talented Portugal team full of young stars who just won Europe's biggest club trophy with Paris Saint-Germain being held back by building everything around a 41-year-old? Then came the second game against Uzbekistan, and Ronaldo answered the only way he knows how. He scored twice in the first half alone, and Portugal cruised to a 5-0 win. But it wasn't just the scoreline that mattered, it was what it meant in the history books. With that second goal, Ronaldo became the oldest player ever to score 2 goals in a single World Cup match. He also passed a Portuguese legend named Eusebio to become his country's all-time leading World Cup scorer, a record that had stood for 60 years. And he became the first player ever in the history of the tournament to score in 6 separate World Cups. 20 years, 6 tournaments, still finding the net. Nobody, not Pelé, not Messi, has ever done that. But the good feeling didn't last. The final group game against Colombia ended goalless. That one result mattered more than it seemed at the time. It meant Portugal finished second in their group instead of first. And that single detail changed their whole path through the tournament. Finishing second meant they'd run into Spain much sooner than anyone in Portugal wanted. Once the group stage ends, it becomes single elimination: lose, and you're out. This is called the knockout stage. Portugal's first knockout match was against Croatia, and it doubled as a reunion: Ronaldo against Luka Modric, 2 legends who used to play together at Real Madrid, both possibly playing their last World Cup match ever. Croatia scored first. Portugal needed a way back in. In the second half, they were awarded a penalty kick, and Ronaldo stepped up and scored it, calm as ever. That goal meant more than just tying the score. In 20 years of World Cup football, it was Ronaldo's first ever goal in a knockout match, and at 41, he became the oldest player in tournament history to score in the knockout stage. Portugal went on to win 2-1 and move forward. That set up a showdown against Spain for a place in the quarterfinals, and everyone sensed, for the final chapter of Ronaldo's World Cup story. For most of that match, it actually felt like it could have gone Portugal's way. Chances came and went for both sides. Ronaldo was denied twice by the Spanish goalkeeper. A Portuguese shot cracked off the crossbar. Then, in the very last minute of stoppage time, 2 Spanish substitutes combined for one clean, calm finish. 1-0 Spain. Portugal's World Cup and Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup career was over, just like that. It's worth remembering, even at their best, Portugal's history at this tournament has never been extraordinary. Their greatest World Cup finish remains 3rd place, all the way back in 1966. Under Ronaldo, they never even matched that. Their best World Cup finish with him was reaching the semifinals in 2006, when he was still a young player. In 2026, they didn't get anywhere near that far. Set the emotion aside for a second and just look at what Ronaldo actually achieved across his career at this tournament. Because whatever you think about how this final World Cup ended, the full picture is remarkable. 6 World Cups played, 27 appearances, 11 career goals, 2 assists, and, again, the first player in history to score across 6 different World Cups. In this tournament alone, he played 4 matches and scored 3 goals, his second-best return ever at a single World Cup, only behind the 4 goals he scored back in 2018. He became the oldest player ever to score 2 goals in one World Cup match, the oldest player ever to score in a World Cup knockout match, and Portugal's all-time leading scorer at the tournament, ahead of a national hero whose record had stood since the 1960s. Only one player in the entire history of the World Cup has ever scored at an older age than Ronaldo did this summer, a Cameroonian striker named Roger Milla back in 1994. That's the company Ronaldo now keeps. These aren't the numbers of someone coasting on his reputation. They're the numbers of a 41-year-old still breaking records that had survived for decades. But numbers alone don't answer whether the team should have been built around him. That's where the real debate begins. For every record Ronaldo broke, there was a growing argument happening on the sidelines. Should he even have been starting every match? Portugal's manager, Roberto Martínez, defended his decision from the very first game to the very last. His reasoning stayed the same throughout. Even if Ronaldo wasn't scoring or sprinting the way he once did, his sheer presence on the field changed how the other team defended, opening up space for his teammates. Not everyone agreed. Former player and TV pundit Chris Sutton was one of the loudest critics, arguing bluntly that the coach was pandering to Ronaldo, meaning prioritizing his ego and reputation over what was actually best for the team. Sutton's point was simple. Ronaldo had played every single minute of Portugal's tournament, heading into the knockout rounds, on a squad packed with other talented attacking players who barely got a chance. One change is already certain, though. Portugal's coach, Roberto Martínez, resigned immediately after the loss to Spain, saying plainly that he'd come to Portugal to win the World Cup, and without doing that, he saw no point in continuing. That leaves Portugal's federation facing a real crossroads, a young, talented core of players now needing a new coach and possibly a new style of play, with 4 years to prepare before they co-host the next World Cup themselves in 2030, alongside Spain and Morocco. 20 years, 6 World Cups, 11 goals, 1 trophy that never came. Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup story doesn't end the way the great stories are supposed to. There's no final trophy lift, no last-minute redemption. Just a 41-year-old man walking off a field in Texas, knowing it was the last time he'd do it on this stage. Maybe that's the most honest ending this sport could have given him, not a fairy tale, but a career. Argued over, imperfect and undeniably historic, right up to the final whistle. So we want to know what you think. Was this the right way for his World Cup story to end? Or should the team have leaned less on him and more on its younger stars? And after everything we've witnessed across his 20-year career, do you think Ronaldo is the real GOAT? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Stories Biking David. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.